All right, man. Sounds like we're here on Winning Wednesday. We got a new setup, as you can tell. We got the mics, the headphones, the whole deal. We're trying to improve our audio. So, welcome to the War Room, boys.
That's what's going on.
Hey,
Winning
hey,
on
hey.
Wednesdays.
That's it. So, anyways, as we start every week, guys, let's just start real quick and talk about the $1 million mastermind or the $1 million hustle real quick and get that out of the way. I know Stu was going to kill me, man.
I'm gonna kill you.
I know. August 14th, we have limited seats left, and we're running what these guys have been calling a BOGO,
BOGO sell.
Yeah, buy one get one free.
Now you will.
That's it. So we'll put some links in the comments and stuff like that. But we have limited seats, so I think we're done with the hustle push, right? Because it's full. Now we're just really opening up the doors to a few extra folks who really want it. If you don't want to be in the room, don't even ask about the tickets. Yeah. But if you really want to be here, let us know and we can work something out for you. So, Doc, as we always start, and Chris Dorward, we always start winning on Wednesdays, right? Let's get a win on for personal business.
Yeah. So, like I say, welcome, Chris. Glad to have you on. He's a great guy, Marine veteran, world of knowledge of being in business, prior police officer, but we'll get a little bit more into that. But like Joe was saying, man, we just kick off with our gratitude, right? We give back to tell other people, yeah, we get down in the ditches, the world, punches us in the throat when we least expect it. So if we recognize those little bitty wins, then we have something that we can hold on to when the world decides to punch us a little, you know what I mean? Throws a curveball, right? And what we like to say, the devil's outside doing push-ups, right? So
yes, sir.
We always got to be inside doing our own, staying healthy. So personal best for me, last week, man, we are finally going to be able to close on our new home.
No, it's been a while.
So it's almost a year and some change in the process of building with all the material, delaying all the other BS that the world's been dealing with. And I made a bet with the home builder, and I think I'm going to win the bet. So that's going to be my personal best. So I hope to move like right at the beginning of September. So I'm excited about that. Business wise, I think we closed on another property on a real estate flip. So we're creating our whole new real estate portfolio. Me and Michelle, I think we kind of talked about it a little bit last Wednesday. We wanted to have 10 houses bought in the year 2021, and we are on like number 5.
Okay.
And so
you sold some houses this year too, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah. So we got rid of one so we could have some working capital and just kind of understand that process, because there's a lot that goes into it that people don't understand about capital gains tax and how do you maneuver money without losing money to Uncle Sam. But so that's another big win for me and Rochelle on that side of the avenue that we're going down. So, Chris, what about yourself, man? Some personal wins?
Well, we'll get into what I did prior to this, after this. But, I'll just tell you, I came into real estate to make what I made as a police officer without getting shot at. Okay. Most people watching this, you've been in combat. If you haven't been in combat, you can pretty much imagine that once you've been shot at, it sucks. Every time after that, it sucks more. But I came into this, and that was my goal. We're going to get into leadership, but in the last 7 days, I closed my annual police salary.
Nice.
In 7 days. In 7 days.
It's 7 days, folks.
So, I came into it with a goal of this, and it naturally grew, and I was motivated by a lot of people to get there. So I would say that's probably my biggest success, aside from, doing the job and doing it well.
Nice. So again, being able to recognize where you came from and then where you are today and putting those two things into perspective. Because I promise you, when you were, 10, 15 years ago that you're a police officer?
5 years.
Way over than
No, 5 years.
So 10 years ago when he was a police officer, you know what I mean? That kind of money was outside of our scope.
Oh, yeah. No, it was in a little bitty box.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff? You're always winning.
Man, business best is, we're above where we are in terms of the goals we set financially for the year, which is it's a direct effort of staying consistent. Not taking every job, because not all money is good money, and really changing the mindset in my business of not just taking everything, you know what I mean? And being almost picky with the jobs we take, because here's my mindset behind it, my thought process, right? Is if you put shit in, you get shit out, right? So if I'm going to just be the guy that does the little I hate to say it this way. I'm just going to say it. The shitty jobs, right?
Hanging what just
You know,
simple
like
stuff.
Just minimal work.
minimal work, you know, and there's no, okay, we'll put it this way. Transactional clients,
Yes.
right? So that's the way I'll put it. I am in the business to create relationships with my clients, the builders, the architects, the homeowners, et cetera. So while I may not have done as many jobs this year, I'm getting better jobs and I'm getting better relationships out of them. So in a whole, that's kind of where I'm winning this week. Is I had a couple conversations with a couple clients that were just really impactful to me. That really made me go, wow, I'm doing it right. You know, my focus is where it needs to be. So, you know, when you get those aha moments as a young business owner, you know, I would suggest and urge you guys to celebrate your wins.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'd see
Absolutely.
too many people all over social media saying, I'm not trying to brag. You know what? Brag
man.
about it and be happy as hell with all that money and time and effort and the sacrifices you make. Brag about that shit. Celebrate your wins. So we're just celebrating the fact that we're still around, right? We've passed that 4.5 year mark. We're almost to 5 and we're still here.
Been that long?
Yeah.
So we've been in business about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I came in 2016, about June,
Mhm.
actually. So, yeah.
Wow. 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Goes by quick.
Yeah.
I think it feels weird because what people don't understand is I had a full-time job the first 2 years.
I remember.
You remember that,
I
right?
remember.
So that was nights, weekends, Sundays, evenings. I mean, whenever I had time, it was with my business instead of my family. So now I'm taking the opportunity to be with my family and turn my daggone phone off.
Right.
And you know what? Hey, you can wait. Your failure to plan doesn't constitute my, you know, need to, oh shit factor. So
What do they call it? The 5 P's in life?
yeah, piss poor planning. Yeah,
Prevents piss poor performance.
exactly.
Right. We
So
all have
There we
been
go.
privy to the 5 P's, courtesy
Exactly.
of the United States Marine Corps, folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's
actually
it.
written on the barriers.
yeah.
That's
The
right.
shooting
So-
range.
So, you know, that's where I'm at now. Personally, I'm still grinding away at improving me, the person, the
Always
man.
constant battle, right?
You know what I mean? So just happy to be where I'm at, you know, still keeping track. I've been talking about this for weeks, guys, every 30 minutes, you know, writing down my life every 30 minutes. I got about 8 weeks of it now, right?
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's huge.
Absolutely, man. 30-minute increments for 8 weeks right now. And now I'm able to really identify, you know, what it did for me mostly is now I'm cognizant.
Yeah.
I'm intentional with my time as opposed to just like, oh, well, we'll see what happens today. You know what I mean? So that's enough. I'm just going to keep challenging you guys every week. If you're not doing it, do it. I promise you. Hey, William Branch, I'm talking to you. If you see this, I want to see yours in the next week or two. I want to check it out, man, because I'm serious. It's going to change your mindset. So that,
Lord knows I need help with that. I think that was the last video I put up with that. With
yeah,
writing down Sunday night, and this is what we're gonna do, and then waking up. And you know, the crazy thing is, I don't know where we heard about writing down those timelines.
it was
heard
from
about
Mike
this-
Bassett.
Yeah, and we both agreed to start it, and he committed, and I just kind of thought about it. I did it a handful of times, but then it looked like I was time consuming. I even wrote it down.
So there might be people that don't know what you're talking about. Explain what you're talking about,
So
because this is new to me and I want to do it.
So if you get a notepad and a paper, right, and you think of yesterday, from the time you woke up till the time you went to bed, try to chronologically order everything you did,
Mhm.
right? And boil it down to as brushing my teeth, as detailed as that. You know what I mean? Because the more detailed, the more refined that you can make that time schedule, the more detail oriented it becomes. What Jeff is about to stumble upon after 8 weeks of doing it.
Yeah.
So much freaking knowledge about himself and how his day flows that he'll be able to adjust for fire at any event
That's brilliant.
because
Yeah.
it's already happened, and he's, like he stated, you're intentional. He's been consistent with it. So when the force of average shows up,
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, that happened. Boom.
Mhm.
Because he thought it, saw it, wrote it.
Yeah,
And I'll email you the spreadsheet. And look, guys,
Let's
I'll
put
share
it on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll share it with everybody here if you want it. I've sent it to, I don't know, half a dozen people at this point. I'll email it to you though. But you have to understand that you have to, it's like a habit. Like you're creating a habit, and that habit is being intentional with your time.
So when you're running a business, right, your goal is to go from busy to purposeful.
Productive.
And
Yeah.
productive has been purposeful,
Yeah.
right? So by adding that, and you can sit back and actually look at your week.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of scared to see what I'm
It
going to
is.
do. Like, it's
Dude,
like, I feel like I'm busy.
No.
Oh man, look at all the hours you're missing.
I'll tell you this, Dorward.
Gaffing
The
off,
first 2 weeks I did it, I mean, these guys saw it. I was like I felt frantic. I felt like I had no control over anything at all.
Yeah.
week 3, week 4, so forth.
But that's
so
normal.
on.
I mean, that's normal that people grow through that, but you're doing it.
But I'm telling you right now,
He
man.
did it crazy. Like he had highlighters. I mean, I'm talking. I was actually it gave me anxiety.
Mhm.
Like I was like, holy shit, you play 42 hours of freaking game time. I said, what are you doing, bro? He's like, holy shit, I didn't realize I was putting in that kind of time. And that's what that's what's scary about it.
Yeah.
Right. We don't, as an adult, as a business owner, I don't want to look at something and be called out by yourself.
Yeah,
at
but
the end
that's
of the day,
accountability.
folks, that's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Right. In order to
Mhm.
scale, to become successful, to emulate the leaders that we've been talking about. I guarantee they say, what, Mike Jordan's freaking doing free throws after he's won the championship.
Yeah.
Well, you don't hire a coach to pat you on the back,
No.
right? If your coach is patting you on the back,
Yeah.
you're the wrong coach.
And some people,
in any sense.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man. Back to the point of the video games, that's a serious thing that I had. Like, I love playing video games. Anybody knows me, I love shooting some bad guys, right?
Yeah.
And I realized, dude, I'm playing way too many video games. While my goals are sitting over here waiting on me, right? So
You're
now,
achieving goals on the video game, but they're different.
well, what does that do, right? Not
You
jack
put no
shit,
money in my
nothing.
pocket.
Yeah,
Ain't
you
putting
could
money in
go
my
to EA
pocket, not
Sports,
building
right?
relationships, none of that stuff. So, I went from realistically probably 10 hours a week playing video games. I play maybe 1 or 2 now. You know what I mean? Intentional with your time. So, what we want to talk about with our guest, Chris Dorward, tonight. Many of you may know him that watch this. Many of you may not. Chris, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and don't lie about where you're from.
Don't lie, because we found out.
Call me
We
out
found
already,
we
man.
found out the truth.
We figured it out.
All right. So, really bringing it down to a nutshell, I was born in Northern California. Don't hold it against me. My whole family Republicans all the way up.
What city?
No offense to the liberals and Democrats out there. I like everybody. Just some people, we just vote differently.
Yeah.
Born and raised Northern California. Born a San Francisco 49ers fan, which we might get into in a little bit.
We are.
I went to Candlestick Park every Sunday and potentially Monday for home 49er games. And then ended up in Dallas about 1990. So do the math, guys. I've been here for a while. Been in Dallas since I was 10 years old, but did fly back and forth pretty regularly because my dad was there. And I was absolutely blessed that he was able to fly me back and forth. My dad instilled leadership in me from the very beginning. If I could think of anything my dad told me, he said, be a leader, not a follower. And I think that lived with me to today. I was a total screw up in high school, disaster in every possible way. And then luckily one day, a staff sergeant and a gunnery sergeant from the United States Marine Corps knocked on my door. And 2 weeks later, I was in boot camp. I had a lot of friends betting against me. One of my best friends bet against me. He said, there's no way he makes it through it. So when people tell me I can't do something, it really pushes me to push harder.
And I believe that happens with probably everybody, right?
Mhm.
When somebody says, yo, you can't. It's like, wait a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, tell me
Come
I
over here
can't
and watch
again.
this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I almost enjoy it when somebody says you can't do something. And Jeff calls me out all the time. He's like, well, close them. Get them tickets. Do this. I'm like, oh, shit, Jeff, fine. And I'll be like, hey, it's done. He's like, what? I'm like, yep. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. You told me to close something, and I did it.
But that's the kind of people you need around you.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know what I
Once
mean?
it says you can't do it,
You can do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you need help,
Mhm.
call me.
So give us a little bit
Sometimes
about
that's
you moved here in 1990. That's a long time ago. So
Yeah. So
we'll
I've been
give
a
him-
Texan for a long time.
Yeah,
Long
we'll-
enough to have a Texas flag tattoo.
We'll
right
give him
there.
his Texas citizenship today.
Status back.
Yeah, I got it back, baby. So go in the Marine Corps. I was
In 90?
no, not in 1990. I would be 10 years old. That would be
Child
I think that would
abuse.
be illegal.
Yeah, it would
as
be.
they would say.
Yeah,
I went in 2000, the year 2000. I was January 2000. I guess it was right around January. The
Mhm.
recruiters knocked on my door, and boom, I was gone. I was gone in 2 weeks. Mom, I'm sorry. I know that probably was a little surprising. So go in the Marine Corps. I went in. They said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I just watched this movie called The Rock. I want to do what Nick Cage does. Gas, gas, gas." He said, "You're going to be an NBC guy, nuclear, biological, and chemical defense." Sounded cool. Looked cool. My biology teacher did not have trust in me, but it worked. So did that for 4 years. I ran the gas chamber for a lot of recruit chambers, and
Dude, such
lot
good
of
memories.
but for the enlisted Marines out there, you need to know this from the NBC guy. We saved the gas for the brass.
Really?
Every time. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Once you're in the fleet, we saved the gas for the brass. So we smoked the hell out of
So
them.
that
Love
does make me feel better,
Yeah,
actually.
a little bit.
Thank you for that.
Corman, you usually went in first, didn't you? because you got the lightest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we love our
were-
corpsman.
We went in first, and then we got to hang out after the knuckleheads came out, running into trees.
So this was supposed to be a nutshell, and I'm not even to the punchline
No,
yet.
you're
But
good.
so sorry. Sometimes I get a little derailed. My wife will contest. Marine Corps came back. I was offered a position in law enforcement in the military. Decided that was not the best route. I
Yeah.
wanted to go to Dallas PD.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't want to go to Dallas PD. I wanted to go to the police department in the Dallas area. I did not want to go to Dallas. Despised that. And then I got to be a bodyguard for Ross Perot. And
Years. Yeah.
Senior, Ross
Okay.
Perot Senior, was a personal protection officer for him. And his main guy was retired Dallas SWAT. And he said, you need to stop screwing around and you go to Dallas PD. And I said, okay. So I did it.
Nice.
So I went to Dallas PD, quickly became fond of putting burglars, thieves, and drug dealers in jail. And in about 4 years, I made detective and went to narcotics. Actually, 5 years, I made detective and went to narcotics. So
That's
I spent,
pretty quick for that kind of a jump.
well,
Yeah.
when you're passionate about something, right?
Your leadership
it
skills probably
builds,
came
right?
out.
So I had a personal reason why I was
Yeah.
anti-heavy narcotics, and that was my passion. So I like
Get it.
putting those people in jail and burglars and thieves because they're all
Yep.
scum of
Scumbags.
the earth.
I was there
Sorry
once.
if you're a thief out there, but actually I'm not sorry.
No, not if you're a thief, but
So got really passionate about that and was promoted to detective and went to narcotics. Spent about 5 years undercover, long beard, long hair. My wife was pissed. Oh,
Yeah.
she was pissed all the time. I looked like Skinner, and she married like a real pretty. I was gonna say pretty boy like Mike, but he's not pretty. So,
Quit lying to the people; they can see me.
he's
yeah,
the prettiest
so,
one here.
married a pretty boy, and
Yeah.
she got narcotics detective. Like I said earlier, once you get shot at once, it sucks every time after that. There was a lot of reasons I left that I won't
Yeah.
get into. But I decided my good buddy John Sharkey, who was a narcotics detective with me and my friend all the way through the police academy, introduced me to my wife.
Okay.
Golden guy.
Mhm.
He said, "Hey, I'm in real estate school right now, and I really think you should do that." And this is at my daughter's 3rd birthday party at a petting zoo. And I was so tired of police work and just how officers are treated. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, why not?
I'm done.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So that day, this is talking about the decisions you make.
Yeah.
If you lollygag and you wait,
Mhm.
you're not going to do it.
That's right.
If you make a decision, freaking do it.
Intentional.
Step up and do it. So that day, my wife comes into my office in the house and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm signing up for real estate school." And I took all my sick leave with the police department, sue me, and I got everything, knocked everything out in about 3.5 weeks.
And what year was this?
This is 2016.
Okay.
So I get into this. I start going through all the schooling at Keller Williams while I'm waiting to take my test with the state. And on 7/7/16, I had just gotten licensed. And on 7/7/16, we had the most horrific event you could ever imagine in Dallas. And we lost 5 police officers in downtown Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, that happened to be in the 1 week I didn't have gear. I had to turn this is City of Dallas, people. If you're listening, dude, fix it. I had to turn all my gear in to be reissued gear to be a reserve officer. So
Sounds like the Marine Corps.
yeah, it's very similar. Supply guys. No, we're not calling people out though.
Yeah.
So I turn all my gear in.
Mhm.
7/7/16 happens. We lose 5 officers. 3 of them I knew really well and personally, and it was and probably will always be the hardest day of my life because I saw it on Fox News. I didn't have a radio and I couldn't go. There was
Yeah.
nothing I could do.
The helpless
And
feeling.
It was helpless.
Yeah.
And that totally changed my mindset that day. And I had real estate coaches as you get in my company in Keller Williams.
Yeah.
You get entry level coaching, then you graduate to next coaching and so on. My coaches said, "What is your goal?" I said, "It's to make what I made in the police department without getting shot at. That's all I want."
Yeah.
That sounds like a great deal. Yeah. If you're not paying attention, police officers don't make a lot of money. And they should. Especially firefighters, police officers, nurses, first responders. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah. I think it goes without saying. Everybody on this show that's been in this war room here is 100% on board with our first responders. So,
Red, white, and blue.
so you've been in the industry now, selling luxury homes for
No,
5 years.
I sell everything. So I
I
hold the
just have
record.
one question. I hate
Yeah.
to interrupt you. So you guys know I work out, and it's right up here in Rockwall, and I meet a lot of cops. Okay? I meet a lot of cops up there, a lot of firemen up there, and every time I've met one and they've left the industry, the police officer, the fireman, whatever, they become realtors.
I'll tell you why.
Okay, great, because that's my question. What is up? What is the attraction from that transition to get you out from being a cop to a realtor?
So you're in sales, right? Are
Absolutely.
you in sales?
We're all in sales.
Sales is building rapport very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So as a patrol officer, as a beat officer, cops, we get in this mindset. This is all I'm good at.
Yeah.
This is all I'm good at. I'm good at being a cop. That's it.
Gotcha.
Well, what you don't realize is the traits that you have. And I filled out resumes and I sent them to L3. I've sent them to a lot of people and I never got it. Never even got a call. But I put these in my resume. Police officers are good at building rapport. Firemen are good at building rapport. And nurses are good at building rapport.
Yeah. Working under pressure.
You have to do it quickly and you have to get in the door. So as a police officer, if I knock on the door and you're beating your old lady, I have to be your friend to save her.
Okay. That makes sense.
So you have to let me in the door before, because it's easier to talk you into handcuffs than to fight you into them.
Yeah.
So my job is to be your friend to save her. Okay. So
you took that
that's
on.
instant 30 seconds. You don't even have 30 seconds
So
sometimes.
11-second elevator pitch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your elevator pitch every single time.
Yeah.
So what officers and first responders don't understand is when you're loading someone into an ambulance, if they're being combative, you got to calm them down so you can help them. Right. So you're just good at building rapport very quickly. In real estate, it's the same way. It's taking a conversation and building rapport, relaying your confidence in your abilities and moving forward. But that's anything in sales. So it's not just real estate. You see a lot of officers and first responders getting into many different sales positions.
Right.
The problem is most think they can't do it. And they think that the only thing they're good at is being this. But once you take the lid off that box,
Yeah.
your world changes.
Well, I mean, all of us that have been, first responders, military, et cetera, I think over time they crammed so much into that training, right? It lasts a lifetime. I'm still learning things and still pulling things out of the Marine Corps that I'm like, oh wow, where'd that come from? So, so tell us a little bit about. Just tell us quickly what you sell, because I said luxury.
You said
homes.
luxury, right? So
What do you do other than that?
I do have the highest. Talking about bragging, and I don't bring this up.
Brag
usually.
it. Yeah.
I have the highest luxury sale in Rockwall County. So I have the highest priced residential sale in Rockwall County, and I don't know this for sure, but I potentially have the lowest as well because
So you're in between all of them.
big or small.
Yeah.
Well,
It's all about taking care.
I
of
want to
people.
know what the highest price.
It was some
Rockwall
baller
County
That would be
stuff.
inappropriate, Mike.
It was baller status for sure.
Just roughly 7 million.
By the way, I know where I'm headed in life.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying,
That's it.
folks. If I don't know what the highest is in Rockwall County, and now I know it's 7 mil, then that means I got my work cut out for me, so I can get you an 8 mil.
So we're gonna give you a little round of applause here. Which one is it? Oh, that's the laugh. There's a round of applause. Got a new toy here, guys.
What's funny about that is it's not quitting and not putting your client in a box either.
Yeah.
So we started out looking for lots,
Okay.
and this was a house that I'd always wanted to be inside of.
Mhm.
And it was a great lakefront lot. And
You sold
we
it.
kind of looked at it as a joke. And then fate took its place, and
Yeah.
everything was right from then on. And it was a sale that changed my life for sure.
Yep.
But that being said, I'm not a luxury agent. I will sell luxury houses for sure.
Yeah.
But
You're consistent in what
sell
you do.
everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of from law enforcement side of it. It's level to serve. You always want to help somebody.
Gotcha.
And a lot of times we get calls and like, nobody will take my call. Nobody will list this $10,000 lot. And well, why not?
Well, I like what you said there, the servant's attitude, right? And it kind of springboards us into our topic for this month, which is leadership in general, right? And tonight's topic is about how leadership can affect your productivity. And having a servant's heart is just one of many things that makes you a leader, right?
Right.
So tonight what we're going to talk about is the leadership and how it affects productivity. And it's inspired by the great Jerry Rice, your hometown hero there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And anybody knows football knows the
Jerry
legendary
Rice.
number 80, right?
For clarity,
Mhm.
I am a Cowboys fan now and I'm not a ship jumper to you people. I'm a Cowboys fan because I love live football. So I'm a season ticket holder.
You're going to be a Californian from now on, but I like your Texas tattoo.
I like what you tried to do to become Texan.
Yeah.
But hey, it's cool.
But it's cool.
Fake it till you make it.
So we're going to go ahead and get started here. You know, guys, if you're liking what you're hearing for the last 70 something weeks, like it, subscribe, dump a comment in there. We go live here. If you don't have time to watch it on Facebook and you just scrolled right past it, don't forget we have a YouTube channel, Patriot Business Alliance as well, where you can find all that information. And we got some big things coming up. That's why you see all this fancy new gadgets and stuff sitting on the table here. But leadership is something that I believe not everyone has. I don't believe that everybody is a leader. I think there's leaders and there's followers. So what's your first take on that?
I am in 100% agreement.
Yeah.
And you can teach leadership, but you can't force the person taught to act like a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Right? So we can all read the 7 principles of leadership. We can all understand it and know what it means to take action and be a leader and all these other things. But to actually implement being a leader and be intentional behind it is, you're absolutely right. Because imagine if the world was full of nothing but leaders. Nothing would get done.
You ever been at a dinner table with a bunch of type A personalities?
Oh, yeah.
Shoot. It's horrible. At the end of the day, it's like everybody got the steak. You know what I mean? And so without effect, and followers isn't a bad thing, because if we don't have those, then we can't get anything done.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with being a follower per se. I think a follower with initiative, with some drive, is
Absolutely.
a great asset who becomes a leader. So
Some people are born to be followers, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
I had a couple of guys work for me over the years that's exactly what they were. They wanted to show up at 8 and they wanted to leave at 5. They wanted nothing more. But I tell you what, from 8 to 5, the best damn technician you ever see. Yeah. So you have your place. What's one word? And just give me one word. When you think of a leader, what's the word that comes to mind? Mine's action.
Yeah, consistency.
Okay.
Responsive.
Okay. Those are great, right? So consistency breeds credibility, right? Being responsive is communication. And you got to freaking, did I get those backwards?
No, you're right. I'm just saying.
And then the action is what we talk about, and we beat the drum every week about the action here. And if you listen to the show at all, you know that's a big word for us. So I'm going to let you kind of follow the bullet points up here, Doc, and kind of run us through. I just wanted to introduce what we're talking about, what it is, and the action of leading the group or people in an organization. What we want to talk about tonight is how that affects your productivity, because production is what we're all here for, right? And what we do in business. As
a person that loves to take action, it can also backfire on you.
You are the action taker.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah.
Like I will promise you that if you say, "Hey, Mike, you want to do?" and I'm going to be like, "Yep," and we're going to do like right then and there. Okay. It's the war room. This was like we put our mind to it. We talked about it, and next thing you know, Jeff and I were putting this together. And I love taking action, but we have to be responsible and intentional action takers. My wife, if she's listening right now, she's like, this right here, because I take too much action and don't discuss it with our peers. Yeah. Right. Jerry Rice, for instance, he was an action taker. He was like, throw me the ball, give me put it in my hands and I'll make it happen. Yeah. But he never forgot about the O-line, right? He never forgot about the QB that was launching that ball. And so he was a very respected leader and action taker in his field. You know what I mean? So you've seen the legend Jerry Rice play. What is something that you took away from him as a child? Because those memories last a lifetime. Candlestick Park. That's it's
that what you said is that he always wanted the ball. Mm-hmm. You know, there's plenty of other people open, but he wants to be the one that the quarterback goes to. Legendary. So you have to be legendary. Mm-hmm. You have to get open, and you know these guys are real fast. And some people say, "Well, I was too well covered," but he got open. Well, that dude, I tell you right now, there's a handful of sports figures. And the reason we talk about the sports figures, ladies and gentlemen, is there's somebody we can try to emulate the great. Yeah. We talked about it, right? And they're amazing. And Jerry Rice, bar none, is probably one of the hardest athletes to ever play any sport. Yeah. I mean, he still works out. You know, I saw something on like a ESPN or one of those documentaries, and I'm just like, dude, the guy's like 60, you know, like whatever. And I don't know if he's that old, but he's not that old. But he's ripped. He has a routine, and he still has a leadership mentality to where he's going to be able to take someone under him
and make them a leader, because that's really what our job is as leaders. I think.
That's right. Our job as leaders is we find those followers, we pick out those mentees, and we give them the courage, we give them the initiative, and we tell them you can do it. Like there's no reason you can't give up, no matter how bad of a day that they're having, no matter how many passes that Jerry Rice has dropped. You know what I mean? His teammates are coming back. No, bro, you get back out there.
Yeah.
Get back out there. And you mentioned I don't know where you were going with it, but I lost my train of thought. There was some good action behind it.
It'll come back.
It will.
Yeah.
But you take Jerry Rice, dozens of records, right? People broke his records and still can't seem to match his skill set, right?
Yeah.
And so he probably practiced like he played on the field.
That's huge.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every single practice, every single snap, he probably ran at 110% and cut those and made that play. You know what I mean? And that's what it
Well,
takes.
if you go 90% in practice, what are you going to do?
Yeah, 85%
When you're in the
game.
game.
Yeah. You're gonna give up.
Even if you give 90% in the game, you're still only giving 90%.
I think what I'm hearing from you though is if you practice like you play, it's also setting the example and leading from the front. My son and I had just had this conversation this morning. It's crazy that it's coming to my mind because I forgot about the conversation. But we were talking leadership, and I said, "Hey, bro, you know what it means to lead from the front?" And of course, it's early. It's like 6:50.
You're trying to have that conversation.
There's too many words, Dad. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, really. He's like, well, I guess leading by example. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, he gets it.
Yeah.
Like even at 6:30, 45 in the morning, whatever. So if you're leading out there, don't forget that the way you act and the actions that you take, the people underneath you see those every day. And then how's that going to reflect on them? Oh, well, if he can show up late, I can show up late.
1,000%.
Look at KC.
Yeah.
How's that guy dressed every single day?
Oh, to the T's.
Every time.
Every day. Every single day. I've
Three-piece
never
suit,
seen the guy.
yeah.
Never seen him out of a suit.
Mhm.
Why?
Well,
He practices like he plays,
Yeah.
like he's in the courtroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, if he wants his attorneys and his people to
To
dress right, and he shows up
Yeah.
in a polo,
yeah.
what are they going to dress like? That's the standard.
So it helps to find the culture amongst your team, right? Everybody's showing up, and we can go back to your days as a police officer and a Marine, and myself and Jeff. There was a reason we showed up looking sharp. That the boots were, no matter how much we hated it, right?
Yeah.
That we just looked good, crisp, and ready to kill at any given time, right? Because you look at any high-speed, well-oiled machine business out there, they practice like they want to win every single time they touch the field.
Yeah.
You know?
But in practice,
Consistency.
you also have to know your competition. right?
Absolutely.
So and you have to know your game. You have to know what type of game you have to play that day. If you show up to a farm and ranch listing in a suit, what is your percentage of getting it?
Yeah, you're
Probably not very good.
City
You're going to get chiggers everywhere.
probably from San Francisco.
You know what?
He's probably. Sorry, just
I don't think
If you
think-
haven't had jiggers, don't show up to a suit. in
Yeah.
a suit to a farm and ranch property.
Still do it.
You know, I like that you're pointing that out about Casey, because actually, you know, Casey, we love you, brother. Sorry you're not here tonight, but he's at the
Hey, Semper Paratus.
yeah,
Happy
Semper
birthday,
Paratus.
Coast Guard. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
But he's over at the McLennan Chisholm Fire Department, I believe it is, and they're christening that new location as our good brother Mike Donegan, who just recently passed. So
And we're all there in spirit.
you want to talk about a leader of men? Talk Mike Donegan. When you get a firehouse named after you, that's some pretty big deal. No matter what little small podunk town in McLennan Chisholm you're from, that speaks volumes.
Easy on McLennan Chisholm, man. I live there.
Hey,
Not podunk.
I'm not saying anything bad about the system that McLennan Chisholm has or the place it is. I love the place myself, but the point of it is that do things that make you legendary,
That's
even
right.
long after you're
Yeah.
gone.
That's right.
Improve yourself as a leader every day.
You know,
Right.
at Donegan's service, probably one of the best funerals I've ever been to. Been to
Oh,
several law
I've never
enforcement
been
funerals,
to there was more people there I've ever seen.
but you talk about legendary.
Mhm.
That guy will live in this county.
Yeah.
forever, for sure. I mean, not just in a fire department. His name and what he's done for this county will live forever.
Yeah,
And it's leading by example.
he's definitely truly a man of man. And now I remember what I was going to say. You say, why do we recognize athletes. Because they are recognizable. Because if we made it about Mike Donegan, we would have to shed that light on. So when we talk about leaders, we have to be able to put a name out there so the audience is able to relate to those people.
Yeah.
Right. Because we also like to share about the leaders that are influential in our personal lives, but we have to take them from that level back down to where we're trying to really get to.
Yeah.
Which is to talk about the leaders that have influenced us
100%.
and made us to where we are today. And Mike Donegan definitely was one of those people for me. He led me back into church.
Yeah.
He led me back into Bible study and just being a better man of faith. And that's huge for me. That guy will always live in my brain house. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm getting choked up and shit, but that's what that dude meant to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was the leader. He told me to lead with a servant's heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I've always had one. I'm a huge giver. And you're right. That is a huge characteristic of a leader, is that servant's heart and being willing to sacrifice right now for the greater good of your team.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another comment that everybody that knows Mike will probably hear and understand is that he never forgets a name.
Oh, dude,
So I
I'm the
moved
worst
from
at that.
North Rockwall to South Rockwall. I moved from Rockwall to McLennan Chisholm. And in Rockwall, you get a lot of solicitors knocking on the door and stuff like that. South Rockwall, not very much. McLennan Chisholm, very, very few. Actually, it's against our neighborhood to solicit.
That is correct.
So-
I found out.
So Donegan knocks on my door, and I slam the door in his face. He was a political guy. I don't want anything to do with politics. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So I ran into him. I was in between 2 houses down in the front yard a year later. And he walks up to me and goes, Chris Dorward, Dallas Police, Mike Donegan. I was like, oh, he remembered me.
Yeah.
He knew exactly who I was.
Yeah.
So would you hand me that iced tea he's handing the door, please? No, Mike never forgot a name. And I think that in doing that, it kind of, again, changed my mindset a little bit, because to introduce yourself one time and then they know your name forever is unbelievable. And knowing somebody's name is so powerful. Knowing a client's kid's name, kid, be careful. You can get a little, dog's name's big.
I think kids is cool,
Spouse,
man. You know, I mean,
unless you confuse them.
yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, at least they say, hey, well, it took some effort, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm with that, man, because that's something I have to intentionally work on, because I'm terrible. I meet a lot of people, and as fast as I meet them, I forget their daggone name.
So what I've done
It's
to
tough.
help me
You
out,
have
with
to
that-
say it back in your head.
Yeah.
And I still fail at it regularly.
So when I see people's name tags, I purposely call them by their name.
But
You gotta
still
do it
look
2
at
or
the
3
name tag
times.
every time because you're worried you're not going to be right.
No,
You don't.
I just need
Okay.
to see a little bit.
Good.
Because they're really not listening to me in the first place. But that helps me to remember
Yeah.
people's names, because I'm really good with remembering faces, but it's the name. You're right, you know. And when you go and you see them at the store, because when you work local and you build a relationship inside of your community, you build a brand inside of your community, you're going to run into those clients at the school. You're going to run into them at
All over.
doggone grocery
Yeah.
store or wherever. And if you know that you've had an exchange of services done, and you look at them and they know you because they remember writing your ass a check,
Yeah.
right?
Remember
And
you
you
for
don't
sure.
and you don't remember taking it from them, and you're like, hey, oh my gosh, what's up, bud? You know, so there's a lot of power
Hey, buddy.
behind. Yeah.
Dude, I had that happen to me. No.
You sold me a house.
3 weeks ago. I'm at the gas station pumping gas. I was literally just at this dude's house 2 days ago.
Oh no.
Hey, what's up, Jeff? I'm like, oh my God, this guy looks familiar. Hey, what's up? How do I know you? He's like, you were just at my house like 2 days ago. You want to talk about feeling this
Yeah,
big, right?
Yeah.
Dude, at one of the RVBA networking events,
Yeah.
I introduced myself twice to a guy.
Oh,
Same
man.
night.
Yeah.
Same time.
Same night. I was like, hey, Chris Dorward. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, we just met a minute ago. I was like,
Yeah.
you look just like that guy.
It's like you're talking.
Hey, we want to give a big shout out real quick to my man GP watching us from Cabo, brother. Do this. Let's go.
Oh,
San
what's
Lucas.
going on, big
Yeah.
time? Travis Cup.
Put a picture in the comments.
So let's talk real quick about some action steps that as a leader you should be taking. I don't want to say you can be. No, you should be taking these, right? Doc, from the lead with a 10 down, let's just since you can see the whiteboard behind us, go ahead and just lead us through those.
So a lot of these are going to be cliche. A lot of these we already know, but sometimes when we hear them again, maybe by a third party, it actually registers in our brain housing group. So we work hard every damn day. We do the hard work every day. I know being in this group over the last 2 years, I've read and gained a ton of insight. And one of the biggest things that really stand out to me is tackle those long, hard goals first thing in the morning.
Oh man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Toughest tasks.
Toughest tasks first. By doing so, that's freed up a ton of my time. That's helped me become hyper-focused on that particular client and making sure that bid, that estimate, that whatever comes out, top-notch. You know what I mean? So when I say work hard every day, it's just not a saying, right? My working hard for me is putting the time in and jotting down and reflecting, okay, I just did this. Was it wasteful? Did I take care of that client that needed to be taken care of immediately? So it's just not swinging a hammer and breaking a sweat, right? It's like be intentional of how hard you're working.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big fan of work smarter, not harder. Okay, guys?
Shit,
like,
we all should be.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If I can delegate effectively and automate that shit, then that's what I'm going to do. But at the end of the day, I got to work hard at doing and making sure I don't delegate incorrectly.
Well, here's the other thing too, and just heard this recently, and it really stuck with me. Is that swinging a hammer, digging a ditch, building a house? That's hard work. We're not taking anything away from that, but that's really not the hardest work. The hardest work is the mental work.
That's right.
So I like what you're saying. Do the toughest task first, because that's when you're sharp.
That's right.
You know, me, I'm the later guy in the group. Everybody knows that. I'm not the 0 dark 30 wake up and all that jazz. It's not my thing. But I hit my stride, that 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening right before chow. Everybody's different. So find your stride, find where it's going to be, and wherever those toughest tasks need to take place. I agree. In the morning, you're sharp, you're awake. You got some black coffee and some hate and discontent in your eyes. Just get it.
You just get it. So it's funny that he actually wrote down be early. So you don't like being early?
Bro.
You don't like getting up early?
I don't like getting up
I know
early.
you don't like when people are late.
Yeah.
That's right. What about you, Chris? Being early, is that important to your team? I mean, is that a core value?
Talk
inside
about
of real estate?
something
Where-
that may have been instilled in me in approximately the year 2000. I arrived 15 minutes prior. So if
That's
I've
right.
got an appointment
Yeah.
at your house at 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
I am parked out of your line of sight, but close enough to where I can see your house
Yeah.
at 4:45.
So you're straight up
And-
undercover detective on your clients?
Well, I want to make sure they're not selling dope. You just know you got to know your client, right?
The
So-
nard kicks in.
So
Yeah.
no, but sitting down the street just a little bit and observing the neighborhood, what goes in, what goes out. What are you dealing with this listing appointment? What can you learn in that amount of time? 15 minutes, you can learn a lot about a neighborhood in 15 minutes. You can learn a lot about a neighborhood by cars that are parked in the street in 15 minutes. So sit there,
Yeah.
turn your phone off. You can listen to an audiobook or something, but focus on what you're doing. And then you can walk up and you have firsthand knowledge of the neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's being intentional with your time again. Going
And
back to that, right?
If you're 5 minutes late, what are you?
Oh, you're late.
No, you're 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
So good God, if traffic got in front of you, you're still 10
I
minutes
had
early.
a bonehead moment this week.
Oh, tell me about it.
100% bonehead moment. I was knee deep in a big proposal, a very intricate system design, and went right through the meeting
It happens.
that I was supposed to be at. The guy called me and said, hey, we still meeting? Obviously, I owned up to it immediately, right away or whatever, but it happened. So don't think we're sitting up here acting like we're perfect, because we're far
No.
from it, right?
Oh,
We're just kind of giving you our take on it or whatever. But yeah, man, I was disgusted with myself at that moment. Like, dude, this never happened.
So what could you have done to fix that?
You know what? I could have turned my daggone notifications back on. You know what I mean? Because we've talked in the past where it's like, hey, I have something to do. I need to silence this noise so I can be laser focused. Well, I was just too laser focused, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not late. Everybody knows I'm a jerk about being late. You know what I mean? But if you make a mistake, own up to it immediately. That's the biggest thing about it. And then, don't continue to apologize. People, they get it. Apologize, say your piece, and move on. But yeah, on time is, what I'm taking away from the leadership perspective of it is that you consistently make sure you're on time. So now you can expect that from your team.
I was late one time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say late, I was drastically late.
Mm-hmm.
This was a couple coming from Germany that had scheduled a showing on one house a month in advance.
You were late.
It was a Sunday morning. My wife was out of town. She was at an oil and gas conference. I was sitting back on the couch with my daughter, and I got a call. And I felt like I'm missing something.
Something needs to be
There
happening
was
right
something,
now.
but there was
Yeah.
nothing on my schedule.
See?
So what could I have fixed? I could have fixed my schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, there's something I'm missing. And I got a call. I was like, hey, he's like, hey, this is so-and-so. I said, yes, sir. How can I help you? He's like, well, we're sitting in front of the house. Where are you? We've been here for about 15 minutes. I was like, so on this note, if you make a mistake, don't lie. Own it. I said, let me tell you something. I have my daughter and I totally forgot. And if you can't forgive me, so be it. But I'm loading my daughter up and we're on the way. If you're okay with a 4-year-old being at your, actually, I think, she was 4 at the time. I said, if you're okay with a 4-year-old being at the showing with me, I'm on the way. Showed the house. They didn't buy the house, never called me again. But
The fact is, you follow through.
I followed through and I dropped the ball. So,
there's something to be said too about a leader that is vulnerable, right? And as your team sees that, because they're going to want to know that you have a heart. Like every person's leadership style is different, but being vulnerable with your team is also an important trait of a leader. Would you say?
oh, for sure.
Vulnerability is scary.
It's
Sometimes
tough.
that can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I'm pretty vulnerable. I wear a lot of my stuff on my sleeve. I
As do I.
don't really care about my past. I'll tell anybody about it in any given day of the week. Right?
Absolutely.
I don't share it out of pride or anything like that. I share it to say if it can help one person, then cool. I did what I'm supposed to do here. But becoming vulnerable is important, especially when you're grooming the next person to take your spot.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So being able to get a little bit deeper in a relationship with one of your team members that is beginning to show them going to the next level,
Yeah.
right? That's showing that initiative, that effort, that are hitting all those leadership traits that we're looking for to not replace us, but to, you know what I mean? Just grooming them to where we want to go because we're scaling our company. I can't do it all myself. We always say,
delegate.
if I could ever duplicate myself, I would, right? Probably not.
It's never going to happen.
Well, you know what I've noticed in you?
No.
In just in the last couple of years, you've hired right. So we said followers earlier, and I want to be really clear about something. There's nothing wrong with being a follower.
No.
Being a follower does not mean that you suck at life and you're going to do whatever you're told.
I had to follow somebody before I became where I'm at.
I was a
Real
follower
talk.
for 11 years.
Yeah.
Actually, well,
I become a leader
15 years.
yesterday.
15 years. A follower is totally fine. When you're a follower, if you have that entrepreneurial spirit, take away from the people that are leading you. Find what you like, what you don't like. There's going to be people that don't like some things you do. There's going to be people that like a lot of things you do. So if you can really focus on what you would do and then do it. So there's nothing wrong with being a follower.
Agreed.
But there's also some people that are not employable. And that's another conversation.
That's a whole
So
other conversation.
knowing when to fire is also very important because if your name's if somebody blows a job for you or somebody blows a job for you, your name's on the line.
That's right.
Now a lot of the time it could be a miscommunication. It could be something like that.
It could be a number
worked
of
out.
things. Yeah.
Sometimes you just screw up or somebody screws up. But this is what I'm going to get to is what I've noticed in you is your guys are all doing their own videos on roofs and they're broadcasting to their people, their sphere. So if you only advertise to Doc's Roofing followers, what are you going to get?
Your net's not going to be that far.
Not there. But if you get Aaron and so-and-so, sorry, I don't know everybody's name, but y'all do a lot of roofs for me. But if you get all these names going,
That's correct.
they're all doing their own videos.
Yeah.
They're building their business through you. So you become a facilitator for their business.
I like what you're saying there about the followers, guys, because here's the bottom line to it. You nailed it. Every follower has the ability to become a leader,
Sure.
right?
Absolutely.
And if you think about your past and what we did to get where we're at, we followed somebody. Someone mentored us, right? So if you're looking at the word follower as a negative whatever that word is, negative way, that's not the case because we're all still followers in this room.
Sure.
We also have mentors. We also have people that we look to for guidance. So, and I love this because leaders are followers as well.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have to follow your team. Look, if you come into a new job You're swinging your know what around. I'm the shit hot guy over here, and they hired me for this. How do you think your team feels underneath? Well, hell, man, I've been here for 10 years. I didn't get that opportunity. Well, number one, you should have probably got some initiative, right?
Yeah.
Well, this new guy come in or whatever, but if you're coming in hot as a leader, don't forget that you work for your team. That's the bottom line to it. I had a conversation with a colleague, I don't know, a couple days, maybe a week ago or so. And, it just, I wanted to make sure I pointed that out tonight, because if you're coming in hot as a leader and you're showing up like your shit doesn't stink and you're the best thing since sliced bread, I guarantee you no one's going to like that 110% of the time.
And that boils back down to that vulnerability.
Yeah.
Right. Because if my team wants to grow with this team, right, I never tell any of the guys that they work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I never
With
will.
me,
right? These guys work with me. I tell them, I said, I can only be as successful as you are.
Yeah.
So at the end result is you better be more successful than me. Right. My goal is to make you more successful than I am, because by your success, it becomes a trickle down and I become successful.
Well, you're building leaders.
You're building leaders. You're building entrepreneurs. You're building new businesses. You're able to branch and franchise. Like, the end result is so much better. And you guys hear me say it all the time. Play the tape all the way to the end. Right?
It's those movies that you didn't think had that cool snippet right at the end.
Play the tape all the way to the end. Let the credits roll. Then you'll figure out, when you have your vision and you play your vision all the way to the end, you'll see the results you're looking for. And you know that along that thread line is you will become vulnerable. You will take losses as a leader. You will take the hits.
Absolutely.
You have to fail to move forward.
That's it.
Every one of us has failed drastically at some point in our careers.
We got a good quote. Javier, thanks for joining us tonight, brother. I appreciate it. Good leaders build leaders within their organization. I like the word that he added, their organization, right? Because that means he's thinking big. I listened to something this week that hit me like a ton of bricks. A lot of us, including myself, are small thinkers, right? You have to get out of the mindset of being a small thinker. It is. It's a trap, right? That one job you could have took for 10 grand because it looked real cool right there. But instead, you didn't take it. You gained the relationship. Now you're thinking big, right? So as a leader, you need to constantly remind yourself that thinking small will put you in, like you said, in that box, that small little network.
A little comfort zone.
Yeah, that complacency that kills, right?
Yeah. So, and if you feel like you're in a box in a company, some companies aren't going to be your fit. It's okay to start over and do something else. I came from law enforcement into real estate. I went from an undercover narcotics detective on an entry team as the number one guy on the door to selling houses. Yeah. Like, out of the ordinary, right? People still meet me. They're like, dude, you did that? And I'm like, yeah. And there'll be
from a drug testing to a freaking roofing and construction. Like, who goes from medical to swinging a hammer?
Yeah, but I don't think it really.
Crazy.
Let's see those calluses.
It doesn't really matter too much. I don't think that it really matters where you came from. I think what really matters is where you're going. Mm-hmm. And again, pushing back to that long-term thinking, like anybody who knows Doc knows this dude's the visionary of our group, right? He comes up with a lot of the ideas, a lot of the big picture things that we're too focused on the small details to think about. So you have to surround yourself with an alliance of people that all have different superpowers. Going back to our superhero, summer that we did last year, every one of the people in your circle should be bringing value. And I'm going to just be candid. And when I say this right now, if your mindset right now is not, if you're not adding value, get out of my way, go back to the starting board right now, because I guarantee you there's so much noise out there. There's more people rooting against you than for you. Find the people that are rooting for you. And in your leadership position, remember that the people that work for you are the ones that are rooting for you. You're feeding them. You're clothing them.
You are a great example of that.
You know what I'm saying?
You have such an amazing following because you do a great job and you do it consistently. Yeah, you are a full-on example of doing that. Get your core to brag about you.
Yeah, man. And you have to. And right, we've said it before, keep your network big and your circle small. And we say that for a reason, because you want to surround yourself with the powerhouses. I call Doc all the time when I got something to bounce off this dude, and he gives it to me straight, even if I don't like it. But that's what I expect, right? Yeah. And that's what I need. Because
I said, if somebody's patting you on the back, if you're the biggest fish, no, that's not the right term. If you're the was the big dog at the smallest table get find a new table?
Smartest
Whatever.
man in the room kind of thing.
Yeah, that whole
Yeah.
deal right there.
Mhm.
You know, haystack. No, totally
No,
different.
Totally different.
Yeah, wrong story.
Totally
Yeah.
different. No more analogies.
Yep.
None.
So I guess
Wait, what we're looking at? Where are we at? About 6:55.
Yeah,
7 o'clock
yep.
or so.
No way already.
Yeah,
it goes quick in here, brother.
As soon as we hit about 6:30 and we're getting into flow and really jamming and making some good strides with our conversation, it's usually about over.
And then we're like, dang.
And we usually wrap a little bit longer. But I love this topic because we were able to define what true characteristic of a leader looks like.
Yeah.
And we now understand better, at least I do, that I often, when I was a follower, I often followed the wrong asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. So just because the guy or gal or whoever is like, I'm a leader, and you think whatever they're doing is cool, they may or may not be the right leader to be following.
But
Because
take
I followed
notes.
some people down some bad paths that told me that there was a big jar of freaking Kool-Aid at the end. And there wasn't, folks.
Empty.
Because you can get caught up in people's snake oil. You can get
Yeah.
caught up in people's bullshit
Mhm.
because just because they're in sales or whatever they do, or they own their own business or
Yeah.
whatever freaking bumper sticker they're trying to sell that year, can take you down a bad path. And you guys know that the time that we're in today, from 2020, 2021, all the bullshit chaos,
Yeah.
everybody
all the noise.
is so ready for something new, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is ready for this change. There's something to be shook up. And there's people out there that know that and will definitely try and scam you and take advantage of you and
Yeah.
push you back into a dark hole. Because I'm telling you this because it fucking happened to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was young. I was dumb. I was excited. I was ready to eat the whole daggone candy bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it put me in a downward spiral. So just understand and recognize, if you're out there looking for leadership, understand, make sure that their core values match your core values.
Oh,
if
dude,
you're at
nailed
that
it.
spot, if you
Yeah.
are at that spot right now, if you're out there and you're at that spot where you're like, damn, I'm in the hole.
Mhm.
This didn't work. This didn't work.
Yeah.
You know it doesn't have a way to come out. Chalk it up as a failure.
Yeah.
Learn from it.
Yeah.
Get back on the horse and ride. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah,
We didn't-
man.
You can't just buckle down in a hole.
Look, dude, I love that you just mentioned core values because one of our guest speakers that's coming in for the $1 Million Hustle
Thank you.
is a freaking legend when it comes to core values. And his name's Thomas Keenan, and PG rated. Hey, heads up, here it comes. The book is called Unfuck Your Business.
Right.
And if you haven't read it, the title it may push a lot of people away, but go get it on Audible. Go get the book and listen to it because you nailed this whole thing, right? Core values, your leadership style has to match your leadership position within your team, right? This week, we're talking about the lead, who the leader is, right? Next week, we're going to talk about being led, right? And some things like that. But dude, I think you wrapped it up great, man. The core values. And if you don't have them, come talk to us, shoot us an email, a DM, whatever. We'll share ours with you,
Yeah.
right? That's what we're here for, because most people don't think about their core values when they start their business. They think about bank accounts, LLCs, all the jazz that goes with it, right? If you start
I
building,
know I skipped that step.
yeah, me too.
You can get really distracted in the fuzz.
Yeah.
You've got to focus on your business.
Yeah, and I nuked it, right? I nuked trying to figure out my core value, right? And really, it should be very something simple. It is something that you do every single day that you will not shy away from, regardless of what's going on in your life.
Yeah,
That is a core value. If you can't rob somebody, that's a core value, right? A lot of core values are defined in your 10 Commandments. I promise you that, folks.
oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And mine, just throwing it out there, are God, health, and wealth, and entertainment. I added entertainment because I think that is an invaluable.
Okay, did you just add that like right now?
No, not just right now.
Just right now.
Not right now.
Okay, all right.
I go, wow.
So you thought it through.
I did think it through because I like to entertain.
Yeah.
Like I have too big of an energy and I love to smile and I love to make fun and have a great time. So entertaining and having a good time is a true core value of mine. Because as I look back on my life, everywhere that I went, I was having a good time. I'm ready to be
Yeah.
optimistic. You can't come in and fucking put a cloud on my sunshine.
So here's the other thing with that, turning it back to the leadership is what I'm hearing from you is that you like to entertain, which means you like to create a culture in your company.
Absolutely.
because that fun culture keeps people around.
That's right.
What do people leave? They don't leave jobs. They leave what?
They leave the culture.
Leaders.
Yeah.
They leave bad leaders. You know what I mean? So I think culture is key. Man, I think we took what's some save rounds? You got some save rounds here?
Man, I think that we pretty much covered it, but there's
Oh, we could talk for a month on this.
we could go for a long
Yeah.
time. I think we should maybe bring in a leverage class where you could leverage out business and
Okay.
And take, if you're a leader and you feel if you're running your calendar and you have no time,
Mhm.
it's time to start leveraging things out. Where do you go?
Yeah, it's time to start delegating. Now, we actually have talked about that, where when do you begin to take, right? So we all heard of the 80-20 rule,
Oh yeah.
right?
Righto.
And then we all, inside that book that you've read and I read, he really dials into on automate, delegate, eliminate, right?
Yeah.
And that really, when I read it, it dawned on me. I was like, oh crap, I'm the man wearing all the hats. I do accounting, I do sales, I do operations. I have a big idea. I'm going to integrate that big idea, right? You can become mentally, physically, and exhausted. And when you come home, that energy doesn't leave you. It's brought with you inside your front door. And so what's important is to be able to know how to facilitate that to other people that
Yeah.
have your same ideologies, have the same core values and moral ethics that you do. And I pre-warn people when they come and work with me. I said, I don't have your traditional morals, values, and ethics, but that's okay, because I accept all. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what kind of bullshit that you've gone through in life.
You gotta embrace the suck.
We'll let you back in and embrace the suck. So I think it was a fantastic show this evening. Chris, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
Love you, brother.
Pleasure.
Semper Fi. Just
That's it.
because you're from over there doesn't make you bad people. We shook it off, and I appreciate that.
But we'll never forget.
We will never forget.
They learned this today.
Yeah.
That's
They
what
learned
we
it.
did.
You didn't notice they learned this
We
today.
learned this.
That's why we've been hammering it home right now. So hey, man,
full of ammo.
on a
Hey,
real,
don't California, my Texas. There's a
Yeah.
good song about that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
on the real though, if you guys need
Anything.
real estate knowledge, expertise, getting with your man Chris Dorward here.
You know,
His name's been up. I just realized we left you up the whole time. So
hey, I'll take
been loving it
it.
the
But hey,
whole time.
look, the deal is that if you have questions, if
Yeah.
you're in the industry and you have questions, I'm here for you.
absolutely.
If you are out of the industry and you want to buy or sell a house, I'm here for you. If you
Yeah.
want to invest, I'm here for you. This business is about character
Mhm.
and doing it right.
Yeah.
There's no need to be an asshole
Mhm.
in this industry.
Well, there's many of them.
No,
In
with
general, I'm
dealing
just
with
saying.
other agents, there's no need to be an asshole in this industry.
Yeah.
And my goal is that everybody I close a deal with, we're going to have cross ways. We have to represent our clients.
Yeah.
But there's no need to be disrespectful to the other agent while you're doing it. And
I'm
that's,
feeling like maybe you're
Does that
making a
happen
point.
quite a bit in your industry? I mean, because I feel like it's something
I
that's
feel like you're
playing
trying to drive
everybody.
home.
well, no, I'm driving it home because
Yeah.
it's a business transaction, right?
That's right.
You have to represent your client. The other agent has to represent their client. But if you can keep it professional, that's where a lot of agents screw up and that deals get terminated.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like when
Yeah.
you were talking, Jeff's heard it and I heard it. It's like, so was there something that happens in this transaction where the realtors ruin it for each other and they
Sure,
don't put the best
absolutely. And the
interest
deal
of
falls
the-
apart.
And nobody ever puts the best interest of the homeowner?
No, they always put the best. That's the whole point,
Yeah.
is that you get emotional for your homeowner, but emotions don't belong there.
no, because
right.
emotions don't pay bills.
No, keep it between the corners.
Yeah.
Do your job.
Yeah. And
Do
make
well.
this close.
Yeah.
And get to the close.
So, hey man, we're happy you guys join us every week. We've been doing it for a long time here. Dorward, thanks again, brother, for stepping up and joining us tonight. The $1 Million Hustle. Let's talk
August
about
14th,
it. August
folks.
14th. We're running a BOGO right now, but you have to follow this simple step. If you want the ticket, you have to email Patriot Business Alliance tx@gmail.com. Subject line BOGO. Leave me your name, your phone number, and I'll get in touch with you and we'll get you squared away. Other than that, man, we're gonna wrap this up.
Can I
and-
do one little shout out real
Sure,
quick?
yeah, go for it.
Absolutely.
This ring on my right index finger, most people don't know what that means.
Mhm.
This ring is a 22 kill ring. This one, mine's custom, but
Yeah.
22 kill is to reduce the 22 veterans a day that kill themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for somebody to spend some money on or looking for something to support, we wear this ring because if you're a vet and I'm walking through Walmart and you're walking through Walmart, if you see this ring, you know that I will drop what I'm doing and I will come and talk to you right then.
Yeah.
We'll work through your problems. I will dedicate as much time as it takes to help you.
Mhm.
If you are a supporter, I encourage you to talk to 22 Kill, get a ring, get a shirt, get something.
Give us the website.
Yeah, 22kill.org.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually are a really cool organization. I've been to their facility, I've toured their facility, met with some of their leadership. They have a dynamic team. Have you been over there in Plano? To their
I've been to
building?
the Dallas. I've been to Plano. Yeah,
Right over there, totally right, same building.
probably.
Yeah.
Dallas Plano area. Great guy, great organization. One of the best nonprofit organizations that I've ever done research on,
Yeah.
where they are giving back literally almost 90% of what they take in.
That's
back
huge, man,
to
because there's a lot of
veterans, and you get a lot of people get real nervous. I personally get real nervous about giving money to nonprofits.
well, it's a bumper sticker fad, right?
Yeah, so there's only a handful of nonprofits that I'll participate with, and that's because I'm involved with those nonprofits.
That's
And-
huge. Yeah.
And that's the difference between cutting a check and really trying to make a difference. You know what I mean?
100%. So we're
big
talking
deal.
about one more other shout out here is the Lone Star Casa
Oh, absolutely.
clay shoots coming up.
In it.
If you want some information on that, there's still teams available to shoot. There's
August
still,
28th.
Sponsorships available.
there's still a couple of sponsorships, and there's ways to do it. Look, if you don't want to put your money into a nonprofit, put your time into it, because really, I think a lot of people forget about the nonprofits. They need the time.
Yeah,
Do
they need
10
bodies.
seconds on Lone Star Casa. What is it?
So a court-appointed special advocacy program for children that are abused, neglected, and pulled out of homes during the worst of the worst time. So imagine 5-0 shows up, pulls mom and dad out. The kid goes into the system. A Lone Star Casa advocate follows that child through the whole process and from start to finish, and finds them back. Hopefully the goal is to find them back with their family after the nonsense goes away. But Lone Star Casa advocacy, man, there's ways you can help with your time. You can actually go through the program to become an advocate.
That's right.
You can do all this. There's a number of us anybody who knows us know we love the Casa, right? We got it. So
And that is one of the nonprofits that
absolutely.
hands down
yeah,
that I'm about.
for sure. So as a narcotics detective, would run warrants on houses.
So you know
And
exactly.
would run a warrant. And as far as you know,
Yeah.
when you did your buy, it's a drug house.
Mhm.
You get there, it's a drug house daycare.
Yeah.
So they're running a daycare during the day and selling dope. And
Yeah.
they're running a dope house at night. So
Yeah.
that's a huge passion of mine. So
Yeah.
It's
So
not brilliant, but
So it's August 28th is a clay shoot at the Texas Gun Ranch is the name of it, whatever I think it is now.
it
but-
is.
Texas Gun Ranch for sure.
But there's sponsorships, there's shooters teams available. There's ways that you can donate your time, the whole deal.
If you
And-
shoot a 90 or above, you're welcome to join my team. I have 3
yeah,
openings.
exactly. So other than that, our man freaking the Dapper
Guess
Dan
who
walked in.
guess who just
We were
rolled
talking
through
about you
the
earlier,
door?
I heard. I was listening.
My man, Law
Leslie,
Dog,
what's up?
KC
What's up, boys?
Ashmore.
What a
So-
great show.
Shit, winning on Wednesday is what we do.
Hey,
What a
so
great
so
show.
give us a business and a personal best real quick.
Here,
Yeah.
give him his mic.
Oh, he don't need
You
that.
don't need
I don't
a
need a mic. I learned how to whisper in a sawmill.
That-
So,
Oh, he can hear it. You can put it down.
Okay, we're gonna put this away for a second.
This fool needs
So-
no mic.
I need no mic. What's up, Mike?
I
So,
learned how to whisper in a
15,
sawmill.
15 computer speaker just blew.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, listeners. So personal win was, this team right here, this alliance. They knew that I had to stretch this last couple of weeks because I've taken on the role as the American Legion Post 117 commander, and they carried
First Coast Guard ever.
they probably they
Shit, I
carried the
didn't think about
load.
that, yeah.
They carried the load, and also happy birthday, United States Coast Guard, Semper Paratus. Always ready. Which
My dad was in the Coast Guard. We talked about never be a leader, or always be a leader, never be a follower.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where you learned
I
it.
listened to the broadcast, but and then personal win or business win. Terrell office is really starting to come together. A lot of that had to do with my man. Actually, it didn't have to do with
I was about
it
to
was
say,
Big Country.
That had nothing to do with
Big
me.
Country
Yeah.
came down there.
Mhm.
I mean, 2 months ago, a month ago, it was like dial up, trying to remember Napster. It was like trying to rip a song off of Napster back in 2002.
Yeah.
And now it's like zing zing, man. We're like booming. So, Terrell office coming together. Big thanks to Black Level.
Amen.
Big thanks to Big Country. I owe you some barbecue. And that's it for me. What is tomorrow?
Tomorrow's $10,000 Thursday.
$10,000 Thursday.
Let's see if we can get one of these. Yeah! The crowd goes wild.
I want to hear the effects. I'm gonna turn it up.
We'll get some. So hey, bottom line to it is the Picture Business Alliance. We're here for you guys. We want to be the mentor if you need it. We want to share our core values, our information. We want to put you in touch with the people that can help you. Maybe you don't like us, maybe you love us, but don't worry, it's okay because we can connect you with the people that can really help you build yourself, your leadership style, your business, and really help you cast the net a little bit further. I got that one from my boy William Branch, and it really hit home with me to cast your net a little further, right? Don't forget to do that with your team too. Make sure you're taking care of them. Go home, shower, shave.
That thing.
I was gonna hit them with the triple S.
Triple S.
But tomorrow's $10,000 Thursday. If you haven't made it today, go make it tomorrow.
Hey, two deals tomorrow. Everybody get 2 deals tomorrow.
All right, done.
That's it.
Right?
Done.
That's it.
Tell me I can, and I will.
I'm telling you, man.
Hey, just tell everybody out here that they cannot get 2 deals.
Y'all can't
No, I
get
don't
2
believe
deals
it can.
tomorrow.
I don't believe it can't. Right? And if you got some can't going on up here, that's why you absolutely need to be at the hustle on August 14th.
That right.
Right? Get rid of that.
That right.
Peace out. We're done.
Later. That right.